For thousands of years, the galaxy believed humanity was weak. They mocked Earth's divided nations. They laughed at human limitations. They underestimated humanity's determination. But everything changed on a single day. A day when the galaxy pushed humanity too far. A day when billions witnessed something terrifying. A day that would be remembered forever as the day humanity became the galaxy's greatest nightmare. For centuries, humanity remained a minor civilization on the edge of known space. Earth was respected by a few allies. Ignores Mogedvi money. The great powers of the galaxy viewed humans as emotional, unpredictable, and primitive. They believed humanity's rise was temporary. Sooner or later, Earth would accept its place beneath the older civilizations. At least, that was the plan. Among those powers was the Vorelian Dominion, an empire older than most recorded history. For thousands of years they had ruled through fear. Entire civilizations obeyed them. Entire sectors paid tribute. Resistance rarely lasted long. And now they had turned their attention toward humanity. Earth attempted diplomacy first. Human ambassadors traveled across the stars. Trade agreements were proposed. Peace treaties were offered. Cooperation was encouraged. Humanity genuinely wanted friendship, but the Dominion saw kindness as weakness. They mistook patience for fear, and that mistake would become their greatest regret. Every proposal was rejected, every warning ignored, every compromise dismissed. The Dominion believed Earth would eventually surrender. After all, smaller civilizations always did. That assumption had worked for thousands of years. Why would humanity be different? No one knew the answer. Yet, as tensions grew, Earth quietly prepared not for conquest, not for revenge, for survival. History had taught humanity a simple lesson: hope for peace, prepare for war. Factories expanded, research accelerated, defenses strengthened. And still, humanity continued seeking peace. Then the final warning arrived. The Dominion demanded unconditional surrender. Humanity had 30 days to comply. 30 days to abandon its independence. 30 days to kneel. The Galactic Council expected Earth to give up. Instead, humanity sent a single response. A response that would soon terrify the stars. No. The message arrived at the heart of the Vorelian Dominion. It contained only one word: no. At first, the Emperor believed it was a mistake. No civilization had ever rejected the Dominion's ultimatum, not in thousands of years. Entire empires had surrendered without a fight. Entire worlds had accepted servitude rather than face destruction. Yet humanity had answered differently. The Emperor laughed. Then he ordered Earth's destruction. The Dominion mobilized immediately. Thousands of warships assembled. Elite soldiers prepared for deployment. Generals confidently predicted a quick victory. According to every military model, humanity stood no chance. The Dominion possessed more ships, more resources, more territory, more experience. The outcome seemed obvious. But history often punishes arrogance. On Earth, the mood was very different. Nobody celebrated. Nobody underestimated the threat. Human leaders understood exactly how dangerous the Dominion was. Their fleets had conquered hundreds of civilizations. Their armies were legendary. The challenge ahead was enormous, yet nobody suggested surrender. Humanity had made its choice. Now they would stand by it. Across Earth and its colonies, preparations intensified. Factories never stopped. Scientists accelerated weapons research. Engineers upgraded defense systems. Volunteers arrived by the millions. Old political differences disappeared. Old arguments became irrelevant. Humanity focused on one goal: survival. For the first time in generations, Earth stood completely united. The rest of the galaxy watched with fascination. Many expected panic. Instead, they witnessed resolve. Human citizens continued working. Families continued living. Schools remained open. Businesses remained active. Earth behaved as if victory were possible, but to many observers, it seemed irrational. To humanity, it was necessary. Fear could not be allowed to win. 30 days passed. Then the invasion began. The largest fleet the Dominion had assembled in centuries crossed into human territory. Thousands of ships darkened the stars. Entire sectors went into emergency status. Alarm systems activated across countless worlds. The war had started, and every civilization in the galaxy was watching. The Dominion expected immediate surrender. Instead, they encountered resistance. Human frontier colonies fought back. Defense stations held their ground. Military commanders refused to retreat. Every system became a battlefield. Every planet became a symbol. The invasion was already becoming more difficult than expected. Then came the first battle. The Dominion expected a massacre. Instead, they suffered losses that not catastrophic losses, but enough to shock their commanders. Human ships fought aggressively, creatively, unpredictably. Nothing unfolded according to the Dominion's calculations. For the first time, uncertainty entered the minds of their generals. The reports continued arriving. Destroyed warships, failed assaults, unexpected human counterattacks. The numbers made no sense. The Dominion still held the advantage. Yet the war was not progressing as expected. Something was wrong. Humanity was refusing to behave like a defeated civilization. Far away, Earth continued preparing. The first battles had only begun. The true conflict still lay ahead. The Dominion believed they were fighting another civilization. They were wrong. They were about to discover what happens when humanity is pushed too far, and when that day arrived, the galaxy would learn why humans could become its greatest nightmare. The Dominion believed victory was only a matter of time. Their fleets continued advancing. Their generals remained confident. Their emperor had already begun planning Earth's surrender ceremony. But while the Dominion celebrated small victories, humanity was preparing something unexpected. Something no one saw coming. The first human counterattack. Human commanders understood a simple truth. They could not win by fighting the Dominion on its terms. The enemy had larger fleets, more resources, more territory. So, humanity chose a different strategy: speed, creativity, surprise. Deep inside a remote nebula, a special task force waited for orders. The fleet had one mission: make the Dominion afraid. The target was not a military headquarters, not a capital world, not even a major fleet. Humanity targeted something far more important: the Dominion's supply network. Thousands of ships depended on those routes. Without supplies, even the largest army would struggle. And humanity intended to exploit that weakness. The attack happened without warning. One moment the convoy was moving normally. The next moment, human ships emerged from the darkness. Missiles struck key targets. Communication relays exploded. Supply vessels were disabled. Before Dominion reinforcements could arrive, the humans vanished. The entire operation lasted less than 10 minutes. But its impact was enormous. The Dominion was furious. For the first time in centuries, an enemy had struck deep behind their lines. Generals demanded answers. How had humans bypassed their defenses? How had such a small force caused so much disruption? No one knew. And that uncertainty spread quickly. Then it happened again and again and again. Across multiple sectors, human forces launched coordinated strikes. Fuel depots disappeared, communication stations went offline. Military outposts were abandoned. The Dominion still controlled more territory. But suddenly maintaining that control became much harder. Humanity was attacking everywhere. Experts who predicted a quick human defeat began changing their opinions. Military analysts studied every battle. They noticed a pattern. Humanity rarely fought where the enemy was strongest. Instead, they attacked weaknesses, supply lines, infrastructure, logistics. The strategy was brilliant and terrifying. Yet, humanity understood the cost. Every victory required sacrifice. Every mission carried risk. Many crews never returned. Many heroes were lost, but each success brought time. Time for Earth. Time for the colonies. Time for humanity to prepare for the larger conflict that was coming. Back at the imperial capital, concern began replacing confidence. The emperor no longer laughed when humanity was mentioned. Reports continued arriving. Losses were increasing. Progress was slowing. The war was no longer predictable. For the first time, the Dominion began asking a dangerous question. What if humanity could actually win? The first counterattack was only the beginning. Humanity had proven it could hurt the Dominion. Now it planned something even larger, something bolder, something that would shock the entire galaxy. Because the next phase of the war would not be about survival. It would be about taking the fight directly to the Empire, and when that happened, the stars themselves would tremble. The Dominion had finally had enough. Months of human raids, destroyed supply lines, unexpected losses, embarrassing defeats. The Emperor demanded a decisive victory. A massive fleet was assembled near the Kharon corridor, one of the most important routes in the galaxy. The plan was simple. Destroy the human fleet. Crush their resistance. End the war. Instead, they walked into a nightmare. Human intelligence had discovered the Dominion's plan weeks earlier. Every movement, every deployment, every objective. Earth's commanders understood that this battle could change everything. If humanity lost, the road to Earth would be open. If humanity won, the galaxy would finally realize the Dominion was not invincible. The stakes could not have been higher. Unlike the Dominion, humanity did not rely on overwhelming numbers. They relied on preparation. The battlefield itself became a weapon. Asteroid fields were mined. Sensor networks were hidden. Ambush points were carefully selected. Every detail was planned, every possibility considered. The trap was ready. All humanity needed was for the Dominion to take the bait. The Dominion entered the corridor exactly as predicted. Their commanders expected another retreat. Another human delay tactic, another minor skirmish. Instead, they found silence. No enemy fleet, no resistance, no warning. The advance continued. And deeper into the trap they moved. Then everything exploded. Asteroids detonated. Hidden batteries opened fire. Stealth fleets emerged from concealment. Missiles filled the darkness. The Dominion's formation shattered instantly. Confusion spread through their command network. For the first time in centuries, the Empire found itself completely surprised. The battle quickly became chaos. Dominion ships attempted to regroup. Human forces prevented it. Every time a formation formed, another strike hit. Every time commanders adapted, a new tactic appeared. Humanity fought like nothing the Dominion had ever encountered. Flexible, creative, unpredictable. The Empire's traditional strategies were failing. Across the galaxy, military observers watched in disbelief. The casualty reports were unbelievable. The Dominion was losing. Not slowly, not temporarily, losing decisively. Civilizations that had feared the Empire for thousands of years suddenly saw something they never thought possible. The Dominion could bleed. The Dominion could fail. The Dominion could be beaten. The victory did not come without cost. Human ships were destroyed. Heroes were lost. Entire crews sacrificed themselves to protect others. Yet nobody retreated. Nobody surrendered. Every soldier understood the importance of the moment. This battle was larger than humanity. It was about proving that tyranny could be challenged. Finally, the impossible happened. The retreat order was given. The mighty Dominion fleet turned and fled. Thousands of warships escaped. Thousands more never would. For the first time in recorded history, the Empire had suffered a major strategic defeat, and humanity had delivered it. The galaxy was stunned. The Battle of Kharon changed everything. The Dominion was no longer feared without question. Humanity was no longer underestimated. Across the stars, civilizations began asking a new question. If humans could defeat the Dominion once, what else were they capable of? The answer would arrive sooner than anyone expected, because the Empire had just made a terrible decision. They had awakened humanity's full determination. The Defeat at Kharon sent shockwaves across the galaxy. For centuries, the Dominion had ruled through fear. Now that fear was beginning to crack. Entire sectors whispered about humanity's victory. Former vassal worlds quietly celebrated. The Emperor watched it all with growing rage. He needed a response. A message, a demonstration of power. Unfortunately for the Dominion, that decision would become its greatest mistake. The Empire's generals recommended caution, rebuild the fleets, protect supply lines that adapt to human tactics. But the Emperor refused to listen. His pride had been wounded. And wounded pride is often more dangerous than any enemy. Instead, et demandait de revanche immédiate et revenge. At any cost. The target was not a military base, not a shipyard, not a fortress. It was a civilian colony. A prosperous world far from the front lines. Families lived there. Children attended schools there. Farmers, engineers, doctors, and teachers called it home. The colony had little strategic value. Its destruction would serve only one purpose. Fear. The bomb without warning cities burned. Communication networks collapsed. Emergency services worked around the clock. Thousands of lives were saved through heroic evacuations, but thousands more were lost. Across human space, people watched the tragedy unfold. The grief was immense. The anger was even greater. Something changed that day, not within governments, not within military headquarters, within humanity itself. The attack united billions, political divisions vanished. Arguments became meaningless. Every citizen understood the same truth. The Dominion would never stop. Not until someone stopped them first. Earth's response was immediate. Production tripled. Recruitment surged. Research accelerated. New fleets were commissioned. New technologies entered development. Entire industries transformed overnight. The Dominion expected fear. Instead, they created determination. And determination is far more dangerous. Even neutral civilizations noticed the change. Humanity was no longer fighting simply to survive. Now they were fighting for something deeper. Justice. Memory. The protection of future generations. History showed that humanity became strongest when defending others. The Dominion had just given them that reason. Meanwhile, hidden projects reached completion. Technologies, once considered experimental, became operational. Advanced propulsion systems, next-generation defenses, powerful strategic weapons. For years these innovations remained unfinished. Now they were ready. Humanity was evolving faster than the Dominion expected. Much faster. The reports soon reached the imperial capital. At first, commanders dismissed them, then the numbers kept increasing. More ships, more soldiers, more factories, more alliances, more support from neutral worlds. The Emperor had hoped to intimidate humanity. Instead, he had awakened something unstoppable. The attack on the colony achieved the exact opposite of its purpose. Humanity was no longer asking how to survive. Humanity was asking how to win. And for the first time since the war began, the answer seemed possible. Because the Empire's greatest mistake was never underestimating human strength. It was underestimating human resolve.